Hello, I'm Ron, and I think I went a little deep on the hair video. So we're going to do a quick video that's just the basics, the absolute basics of doing hair in Vroid Studio. That'll help us for going in and doing complicated things later for you to have an idea of what all the different things are. Okay, so let's go and get into here and look at Trudy here. We're not even going to talk about base hair or anything like that. We're going to talk about the different hair guides, and we're going to go into the different menus, the different options here in the control menu here, and then we're going to go into the side menu and what it has also. So first we're going to add a freehand set of guides. So, okay, freehand group, we just clicked on that, and then we're going to click in there, and this is your basic mesh. This is what shows up, and we have the pointer selected. There's a couple things we can do here. We can move the mesh up and down. We can, of course, move it sideways, and then front and back. Okay, and then we can rotate the mesh. This is stuff you rarely do. And of course, we can resize it in multiple directions. All right, now back into the freehand group here. So we have our brush, and I'm using the scroll wheel to zoom, and then holding down the scroll wheel to slide around. The right button on the mouse allows me to pivot, and the left button allows me to draw. Okay, so we're going to pivot, and then we're going to draw a hair. Well, we're drawing two because the mirror is turned on. And now we're going to go to the retouch brush. Well, looks like we can't. Why is that? Well, that's because we actually have to select one of the hairs. There we go. And now we can go to the retouch brush. And look at that. We just adjusted both the hairs. What happens here? Okay. All right. And now let's go to the control points. Control points show up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if we move a control point, it affects the control point on the other side also. There are things you can do, however, that will break the symmetry between the two, and then suddenly the mirror mode won't work on them. So be careful about that. All right, so that's the very basics here. Oh, another thing about this control points. So obviously we can move things around. There are 5 of them here. If we go to the retouch brush and we drag the hair out, then we come back over to the control points. You see now we have a whole bunch of more control points. This is how you add points to a hair, is by using the retouch brush. Hello, this is Future Rowan, and I'm here because we forgot something. This is also some basic stuff. There's this thing called the right menu button. So go over a hair, click on the right button, and you see that we have rename, toggle visibility, smoothing, duplicate, and flip and delete. Rename, delete, flip, those are fairly straightforward. Duplicate, make a copy. Toggle visibility, very obvious also. But then there's this thing called smoothing. What does smoothing do? Well, we're going to show you. We're going to go to the control points, and you see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Then we're going to right click on it, and we're going to click on smoothing, and look at that. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do it again, and we have 5. Oops, wrong button. and we have 4. This is how you get rid of control points. So, just to recap, we use the retouch brush to add control points and to move the hair, and we use the smoothing to reduce the number of points in the hair. On with the video. All right, that being said, let's move on to the side menu. So let's go back over to the pointer, and you see that we have materials. If I click on the little triangle, let me get over there. If I click on the little triangle, I have a main color, a highlight color. If I click on that, the main color turns on and the highlight. Let's use a base, this base material, because my specialty hair has got specialty stuff in it. Main color and the highlight color. Without those, we have kind of a gray streaky thing. That's the actual texture. So let's get to that in a second here. Shader colors, this has got to do with the lighting and how it affects the color of your hair. This isn't the color of your hair. This is the color of the light hitting your hair. That's a little complicated. We'll skip that for now, and we're not going to do more with it. Let's go to edit texture. Brings up something that if you've done anything else in here, it's very familiar. You have layers that you can create and duplicate with the default design that you can export, edit in an exterior program, and then bring back in. What's behind me here is the hair texture itself. So as a comparison, if we click on this other hair here and then edit its texture, you can see how completely different it looks because I've edited it in an exterior program. So back to basic hair. We're going to turn on the main color and the highlight color while we're at it. And then I'm going to get out of the way. And we're going to go through the rest of this menu. We have texture parameters. Width. These checkboxes should make these be defaults. I don't know if they do or not, but I think that's what they're supposed to do. Width affects supposedly the width of the texture. So maybe you can see up here where the width of this band is pretty much all the way across, and as we squeeze, it is rolling sideways, but it's also shrinking as it goes. Now, highlight position, that will take it to the head of the hair or to the tail, and if you go far enough, it just goes away. Okay, and now offset. Offset rolls the pattern that is your hair, so the texture, it rolls it sideways. Okay, hair positions. So now we're done with textures and we're into hair parameters. Position X, this is sideways on your face. So it's moving sideways, and it's in fact rotating all the way around. And then position Y, that is rolling front to back, I believe. It's kind of twisted. We click on this hair here, and then we go to position Y. Nope. I think the Y crosses the central axis of your head from the front to the back, and then it stays along a plane. I don't know where it picks that plane from, but it does. Maybe it's from the tip. So position Y. Yes. Yes, the tip of your hair is determining what your position Y is, not the root, the tip. Okay. All right, width. This is how wide your hair is. Thickness. If we turn off all the other hairs so they're not visibly in the way. There, you can see that it has a diamond shape and it has this much vertical thickness. There's this triangle here is how much of it is sticking out over your head, over the surface of the head. And now thickness up and thickness down. That's pretty close to flat, but not exactly. So let's take it back to where it was. Twist intensity. We can twist our hairs. Well, this is saying that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 twists. Ooh, -5 twists. Okay. And then twist placement. So what this is doing is actually rolling your hair. I know it's hard to tell with this color. Let's set it to blue. And twist intensity. That's how many twists there are. There we go. 1, 2, 3, however, that's how many twists there are to make your hair curly. Or if it has any kind of an angle to it. So we can angle hair along a plane and then twist placement. So let's do this. And this is going to, I believe, roll it up or down. Okay. And then let's reset these because that's pretty specific for twisted hair, for curly hair. Okay. Smoothness. So technically it's how smooth your hair is. If we pick one that's kind of twisty, maybe, and then let's come back over to here with the main selection tool and then come down to smoothness. Oh, see, this is how jaggy the edges are. Okay. Now, we're going to go and turn off a bunch of this ugly stuff. Okay, so there's a diamond end shape to this. And you can tell, although it's doing something weird here, there is a diamond shape to this. Then we're going to go for triangle. Now you see that the bottom is flat. And now we're going to go for bottomless triangle, which means it's basically a tent. And then we're going to go for flat, which means it's flat. It's truly flat. There's no thickness to it. Well, see, thickness has no effect on this. Okay, now curve. Straight and fluffy. What did that look like for real here? This is fluffy, as in it's got kind of a narrow base for the hair, and it widens out as you go along the edge, and then the tip comes to a point. This is called fluffy. And then if we go for straight, it starts narrow, widens out, and then becomes flat and wide at the bottom. Yeah, remember I said this program was bang-centric? Well, yeah, it's because Here we are. That's supposed to be kind of up at the top of your head, and this is supposed to be at the middle of your head. So bangs, flat bangs, tippy bangs, whatever. Okay. So that's all of the freehand group controls. We're going to do procedural hair guides now. And you see that we have what looks like a mop attached to her head now. What's that about? We have all of our regular controls. We've generated 6 hairs automatically. Everything here looks normal, except we have an additional guide parameters. So here we have reset, reset, reset. That's nice. Height, offset, fit to head, fit to head. So height is going to affect the height of your guides. Oh, do we not have that in the regular freehand group? Texture, hair, guide. Oh, we did have that in, okay. So height, how tall your hair is, or how long it is. The offset, how far away from your actual skull it is. Fit to head Z, that's front to back. And you can see that we've changed that. Fit to head X, that's side to side. You can see how it tucks in for the area under the chin and it widens out for the shoulders. Okay. Now let's get back into the procedural group. Here we have texture parameters, hair parameters, guide parameters, procedural parameters. Length is the length of the hair on the mesh. Position is, right now, position appears to be rotational, but that will change. How will that change, Rowan? Well, let's get there. Your center Z is your front to back center. Okay. And your center X is your side to side center. Let me turn that off. Clicking on these turns them on, then clicking on them again turns them off. Okay, hair count. We've just added hairs. Okay, hairline. As we extend it, your hairline recedes. Okay. Intensity. Intensity is actually doing something where the hair is thicker, but I'm not sure how. Chunky pattern, it changes something in the way that the hair lays out. I'm not sure how. Number 2 is the same as that. Hair part distance. So now, remember I said everything's pivoting around the point. As we extend this, now you see that we have a straight hair part now, mostly. And then if we adjust our position, here we are rolling front to back, or back to front, depending on where we move the position slider. Okay, hair part distribution. So let's mess with this. Right now it's at 100. As I take it back, okay, you see how we have distributed where the hair is, and eventually it just distributes out to the point where it can't do anything. And you also see that we have this chunky wedge point here that's moving around also. Okay, hair part gather. That's going to take the stuff at the bottom and pinch it together. Okay. Arc of hair length. So that makes the ends go up and the middle go down, stay down. and then the other direction makes it go the other direction. Cascade direction. This is which way the curtains are sweeping. So now they're sweeping back, and now they're sweeping forward, and you can really overextend it and have it be a swirly. Okay. Cascade gather. That's going to be very much like the hair part gather, where we're pinching together in the cascade. The sweep, this is whether the bell curves down or the bell curves down in the back. So down in the front, here. Cascade sweeps down in the front, or it goes up in the front, and it goes kind of down in the back. All right, and of course, this is all done with math, so at some point the math starts doing ugly things. If you get to a point where you're close to where the hair looks like what you want it to be, duplicate your group. Duplicate your group, and then turn off its visibility. That way, if you figure out you've screwed something up and you can't get your hair to come back, you can go back to where you were at a comfortable position. All right. Cascade sweep and sweep placement. What does sweep placement really do? Well, let's put in more sweep in one direction or another. And you see how we just broke it again. All right. Sweep placement. We are bringing the position of the bow downward. So now it's more down here than it was up there. So let's do position to rotate this maybe, or let's do the position. So now that's as close to the front as we get. And then we're going to do something with the, I'm trying to get the hair to come forward more and be down. Cascade gather. Okay. And now cascade sweep. Oh, I'm really messing things up now, aren't I? Sweep placement. There. See, now it's really rolled forward and kind of over the eye. If we shorten the hair, where is this short hair? Count, interval, position, length. Oh, what did that do? It didn't help us much because our cascade sweep is too far. Our sweep placement? No. Direction? There we go. In any case, you can see that this is a very powerful tool and it can get away from you very quickly. So once again, save often and make duplicates so you can get back to where you need to be. And eventually you're going to want to get rid of the other ones. Okay, I think that's all of it for the basics. I'm sure there are things that I missed, and there are plenty of other things that we have not gotten into because they're not basic. You can create multiple hair groups, and in doing so, you've created multiple meshes, and you can warp multiple meshes and put 1 or 2 hairs or a dozen hairs or whatever in each of these hair groups, and you can get some very custom effects by tweaking with a mesh that only has a couple hairs. This is also how people create things like earrings and various accessories using hairs, is by messing with the texture and the mesh on a hair group. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it didn't drag on too long, and I hope it was educational, maybe a little entertaining. And I do hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time it is, you're having a great time. And I hope to see you again real soon. So until next time,